Last night, UFC 290, one of the best fight cards we've ever seen. And I may have said this in the past, but I think I really mean it this time. I mean, 8 finishes in 13 fights, 2 split decisions. Actually, it might have been 9 finishes if you count the last one, Volkanovski and Rodriguez. So 9 finishes, 2 split decisions, and only 2 regular decisions. Both of the split decision fights were very close, could have went either way. One champion retained the belt. One champion fell last night.
And new.
Yes, and that's what you hear. And new. You got and still and new. But a great night of fighting. A lot of predictions came correct last night.
Yes! Yes!
Including this one. The biggest one of the night for me. If we get this prediction right, I don't care if we go 1-12. If we go 12-1 and get this one wrong, I'll never hear the end of it. Thankfully, this one went exactly how I expected it to go. Check this out. And Du Plessis looks totally different. I mean, the fact he can breathe out of his nose now, as we hear from Joe Rogan and Daniel Cormier talking about it, it just seems like he has more energy. Remember, in a lot of the fights, he's down early, but not in this one. He's been in command pretty much since the beginning. Whittaker comes in with a left and a right, he misses. Du Plessis brushes him back. Near headbutt. And they back off and reset. And Whittaker now breathing hard, lands a leg kick. Du Plessis just shakes his head like that didn't do anything. Now Du Plessis lands a leg kick to the body. Switches from lefty back to righty. Ooh. Nice jab by Whittaker. Du Plessis with a right and left. Okay. And Whittaker's putting his hands down. He looks tired to me. We'll see. Whittaker slowing down. Du Plessis is not. Man, Du Plessis is a big guy because Robert Whittaker's big. Oh, he drops Whittaker with a right jab. Whittaker's back up. Whittaker's in a little trouble here. Oh, let's go. Let's go. Yes. Right, left, right. Let's go. Finish him. Finish him. Oh, yeah. Shot to the body. Go down, Whittaker. Yes. Finish him. Finish him. Jump in, ref. Let's go. Let's go. I told y'all, man. Yeah, Adesanya.
Yes! Yes!
Okay, we got a real middleweight title fight now. Dricus Du Plessis
Yes!
versus Israel Adesanya.
Yes!
I don't think it matters. Hamza's still the best in the division, but nonetheless, at least we got a title fight in our hands. Dricus Du Plessis stands or sits atop the octagon. What's that, a roar? And you know what? Look at Adesanya's face. Adesanya looks pissed because now he's got some competition. And now Dricus shakes Trump's hand. Look at this. Trump tells him great job. Dana White telling him great job. And Dana White's got money on his mind. That's for sure. That's going to be a main event possibly at the end of the year. Dricus doesn't look like he even broke a sweat. So he'll be ready to go in 3 or 4 months. So look at... And Adesanya's got a look on his face like he's ready to go right now. And that'll probably go down in December. I'm thinking UFC 296. We'll see. I think a lot depended on how this fight went. Whittaker smiling, Du Plessis and Whittaker talking, but Dricus Du Plessis finishes Robert Whittaker. Yeah, man, what an unbelievable performance for Dricus Du Plessis. A lot of people talking smack in the comments this week saying, you know, Chris Cross, you don't know what you're talking about. You had some people that were saying that Dricus would win. It was kind of 50-50. I think it was 57-43 Whittaker in the poll we did this week. But, you know, we'll take it, man. This was a big one. That was the biggest fight of the night for me. You know, if they ended the card after Dricus Du Plessis won, it would have been a phenomenal card. But after that, you had 2 more title fights. Everybody's exhausted. And... just out of sheer emotion from last night, and it would only get better. Then Israel Adesanya comes in the octagon, and you know we got Adesanya versus Du Plessis now on the horizon. Adesanya steps in and starts going off on the rant. You know, he said the N-word a few times, more than a few times, and people made a big deal of that. Dana White asked in the post-fight press conference what he thought, and he said, it's the fight game. You know, the fighters do what they want. And it's pay-per-view, so say what you want. And Adesanya and Du Plessis had the face-off. And, man, that's going to be a big fight. And they're making a big deal of what Adesanya did, but to me, I see Adesanya already getting himself psyched up because he's got a new opponent now. And he's already trying to get in the head of Du Plessis. Maybe this fight happens at UFC 293, but that's like a 9 to 11 week turnaround. I'm not so sure, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, there were all other types of big fights up and down this card, but let's get to the two title fights first, because you had Moreno versus Pantoja, the fight of the night. Unbelievable fight. And this one was a shocker at the end because we knew it could go either way. It seemed like Pantoja won, but you never know when it goes to the judges. Check this out.
Brandon Moreno and Alexander Pantoja put on one of the best fights that you'll ever see. A 5-round battle, high-paced, high-activity fight at the highest level. And this thing is going to a decision, and likely Pantoja is going to pull this thing off. And it's unbelievable that neither guy got finished in this fight. I mean, from round one, it was just high pace. It just continued for 25 straight minutes. There was never a break in the action other than some takedowns. But a high-level fight. When you get into the numbers, which won't really matter much because it'll just come down to the rounds, but it was 117 to 101 Moreno in significant strikes, 140 to 132 total for Moreno. Head strikes, 108 to 85. But the problem for Moreno is he gave up 6 takedowns in 8 minutes and 30 seconds of control, while just landing 2 takedowns with 4 minutes and a second of control. So those takedowns for Pantoja are going to loom large because in the rounds that he had a lot of the control time, the round was very close. And the judges are likely going to give those rounds, which will be rounds 3 and 4 is what it comes down to. Really, round 4 will decide this fight. And the takedown game and control time should be enough to get Pantoja over the top. So the way this thing broke down, round 1, Pantoja. Round 2, Moreno. Those are the only 2 that we really know. The other 3 are kind of toss-ups, but you would lean towards Pantoja. Here we go. Oh, my goodness. $49-46 Moreno. Split. 48-47 Pantoja. Oh, my gosh. 48-47. Unbelievable. And no! Wow! And Alexander Pantoja crumples to the ground. And he has finally done it. He is a world champion. And what a fight. This is the fight of the year. Unexpectedly.
Yeah, and I'm calling this right now the fight of the year. If you get you're talking 30, 35 minutes of action with the breaks in between rounds, non-stop from beginning to end. It seemed like someone was going to fall after round 2. I mean, both guys tired. Pantoja, not much experience in rounds 4 and 5 at all. Moreno, all types of experience. 4 fights with Figueiredo. Was it 4 or 5? I mean, they kept going and going. But it didn't matter. Pantoja, tired as can be, still got the job done. And you got a new champion. Then in the main event, you had Volk versus Yair. It just got better to close out the night.
Ooh, and the pace is picking up here at the end of round 3. Volkanovski taking a head kick. Ooh, now landing a big right on Yair. And Yair kind of laughs and shakes his head, but he's in a little bit of trouble now. Nice uppercut by Volk, and now he picks him up and takes him down. And Yair's covering up. Oh boy, Volkanovski's opening up with a right. Some big rights, a left, some more big rights. And Yair's not fighting back. Herb Dean's going to jump in there any second now. And that's it.
Let's go. Volkanovski, baby. Finishes the fight in the main event. Best fight card of all time. No question. 9 finishes in 13 fights, 2 split decisions. And the regular decisions came early in the prelim, so this has to be the best fight card of all time. Volkanovski closes the door in the 3rd round and gets a finish in a fight where you think he might go the distance with Yair. But it didn't go to distance. And if it did, and there's a simple decision win by Volkanovski, still a great card, but this fight had to finish. I mean, the card was unbelievable. Cherry on top, and that's what you get. Volkanovski retains the belt, and the fight against Islam is going to loom large for him in the rest of his career. I can't wait to see it. They got to do that rematch. There's no one else to fight Islam right now. Charles Oliveira gets a chance. But after that, it's got to be Volkanovski, and Volkanovski deserves like 9 months to a year off to get ready for that fight. You also have Bo Nickel in action last night, a huge favorite. And he did not let down. There were 4 fights that finished under a minute. This was one of them. Bo Nickel versus Val Woodburn getting ready to kick off. Fans are on their feet because both these guys possess a lot of power. Woodburn taking this fight on less than 7 days' notice. And he's short, low to the ground. They say he's good on the ground. I don't know, but he's 7-0. Fighting at a regional MMA fights in Florida, specifically Tallahassee. So we'll see. And the fight starting off slow. Oh, and a nice left there by Nickel. Nickel shoots for the takedown. He can't get it. So Woodburn stuffs the first one. And he's taking his time. Whether he's timid or smart, we don't know yet. Oh, Bo Nickel lands a big right and a left. Woodburn in trouble. He takes another left. Oh, he's wobbled. It's over. Ooh, he goes down. And Bo Nickel with a big right, and the ref jumps in. Chris Tagnoni wasted no time. And Woodburn is finished. Dude, Bo Nickel is for real, bro. Yeah, Bo Nickel is for real, getting the job done. And there's all types of people saying stuff. You know, Woodburn took the fight on late notice. They're bringing in low-level fighters to fight Bo Nickel, but it wasn't his fault. You know, he wanted to fight. His opponent fell through, I think twice, at least once. And you got to fight who's in front of you, and he did, and he made it. He looked good. I mean, there's just no other way to say it. He looked good last night. Then you had Robbie Lawler in his retirement fight. People didn't expect much because Nico Price is a good fighter. Robbie Lawler slowing down, but this fight also finished in under a minute and was straight fireworks. Robbie Lawler entering the octagon for his last professional MMA fight, last fight in the UFC. We'll see how he goes out. And I'll tell you what, the numbers have changed. The odds, live odds have changed. And you got some people throwing down on Robbie Lawler, thinking that this last fight may give him an edge. The crowd is definitely supporting him. The crowd is chanting Robbie as this fight gets ready to get underway. And Robbie's a guy you got to be careful with. I mean, the first 2 minutes of the fight, he can hang with anybody. He just tends to get tired as time goes on. So both fighters touch gloves. And here we go. And Nico shoves off a leg kick already. First 10 seconds gone. And Robbie looks good. He looks a little slimmed down to me. A little lighter on his feet. Ooh, big left and right by Robbie Lawler. And he's dancing around. He looks like a kid again in there. He's got the adrenaline pumping for the last fight. And lands a left and a right. And Nico Price looks a little hesitant here. Ooh, and Nico takes a left, another left. Nico goes down. Look at this. And that's it. Nico is done. And the crowd goes crazy. Robbie Lawler's last fight. And you already see the facial expression. He looks sad. But if you're going to go out, that's the way to go out. Robbie Lawler gets the KO finish over Nico Price. And so Robbie Lawler gets the finish in his retirement fight. They had a tribute at the end. He looked sad as can be, but a great career for Robbie Lawler. And what a great night. 4 finishes in under a minute. 9 finishes overall. You couldn't ask for a better card.
He's gon' fight, wait, he's gon' fight, wait, hold your breath till the end of the night. Last fighter call, UFC at its height, yeah, bringing that thunder with all his might, saying step up, wanna fight, hold up, think twice, gladiator assassin, reckless no abandon, walk through that cage, he'll leave your ass stranded. Wake up, hey, where you at? Hey, got hit in the head with a baseball bat.